GoPro, the GoPro Hero 5 and the GoPro Hero 6, both black editions. What is the difference? Let's look in depth and see. I'm going to start by cycling on both of the cameras. Hold the side buttons, same in both of them, and immediately you can see that we have both the settings, both of the cameras on the same settings. Video mode 1080p, 60 frames per second. Field of view is linear. Video mode 1080p, 60 frames per second. Field of view is linear. Now immediately you notice that I don't know if you could tell. Let me roll, as a matter of fact, so we can compare the two different footages. I'll do my little snap thing so I can sync, and you should be getting both the footages now as well, so you can see the difference in both of the cameras and the profiles that we have set up for them. Shouldn't be too much. Now let's cycle through the menu so we can see what the difference is and see how touch sensitive each one of them is relative to the LCD screen. Okay, so we stop recording in both of them. Excuse me. Okay, so let's start with the preferences. So we swipe down on both cameras. Okay, and we see in the GoPro Hero 5 it says Connect and Preferences. Hero 6 it says Connections and Preferences. And you also have a settings at the top that you don't have in the 5. That's the difference right there. So let's go to Preferences. Is connect is to connect to your phone, and we're not going to do that right now. So Preferences. All right. What did I just do over here? Preferences. Okay. So we see right here, preferences, same. Camera tour about this GoPro updates and time about this GoPro. Look at that. About this GoPro. Look at that. Interesting. You can see that the response is kind of better in the GoPro 6. Not perfect, but it's still better. This thing is acting crazy. I don't know. Okay, so just trying to compare here. I don't know if it's pressure sensitive or not. I don't think so, but you can see it's just doing its own thing right here. So you kind of gotta like flick it sideways or something. Like both of these touchscreens, I would say, needs work. All right, so on camera, off, wake up voice. You don't have that wake up voice feature in the 5, but you do have it in the 6. You can select your language in both of them. List commands, general, high, LED, on, quick capture in both of them, default mode. Look at that. See how that does that right there? Default mode, auto. You have both these in both those options in both cameras. Screensaver, never. Screensaver 1 minute. I'm gonna change this right here to 2 minutes right now and change this right here, because that can really kill your battery. So you have a 3 minute, 2 minute, and a 1 minute option in the 5. And on here you have a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, and a never option. Same differences. Brightness, auto rotation, GPS language, format NTSC, and regulatory. There is no regulatory on the Hero 5, whatever regulatory is. Okay, HDMI out. You got an HDMI out and an audio input. both of those are not available. I think that's when you get the little audio attachment that connects to the side of the camera for adding an external mic, which I do have that piece, but I don't have it with me right now. So format SD card, camera defaults, and factory reset. So those are the menus of both of the cameras. So you can see the difference between the menus. And like I said, both touchscreens, particularly the Hero 5's touchscreen, is a little bit more sensitive, less responsive than the Hero 6. It's acting okay right now, but you saw before, it's working okay. It's good enough. Good enough. Alright. So let's go into the actual camera settings. Look. Now the 6 wants to act funny. Look at that. Alright. Excuse me. Now, camera settings. And camera settings, okay, we have the same. We have video mode, we have photo mode, time-lapse mode. But I see in the 6, we have video mode and looping. In the 5, you have video mode, video plus photo, and looping. Maybe this was a feature that nobody used and they just took off. I don't know. But I, for one, I can tell you I never used this feature. I think that actually took a photo before it started videoing. I'm not sure, but I never used that feature. So yeah, and that's pretty much it for the video options. Now under photo options, we have photo, night, burst, same thing. Only options. Under time-lapse mode, you got time-lapse video, time-lapse photo, and night time-lapse. Same options. Alright, so let's move right along to the resolution. Okay, this is interesting. So in the Hero 5, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 options. And in the 6, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options. Okay, so what's not available? You got 4K for both of them, 2.7K and 2.7K at a 4:3 aspect ratio. You got 4K at a 4:3 aspect ratio, which you don't have in this. They just then you got 2.7K and 2.7K at the 4.3 aspect ratio. Then you have a 1440. This has 1440 also. Then you got a 720. This has 720 also. And obviously both of them have a 1080, but this the new Hero 6 does not have a 480 resolution, which I think we can live without 480. I think most people will agree that we can live without 480 p. Yeah. So okay, let's put both cameras on 4K and see what we could do here. Okay, so this says 4K resolution 4K, tap for FPS options. Okay, so 4K is only available at 30 frames per second on the Hero 5. 4K is available at 60 frames per second on the Hero 6, as we can see, because the other ones are grayed out and it says not supported. So yeah, and this only 30 frames, everything else is grayed out. So that's our 4K settings. If we go back to 1080 on both cameras, then now let's see what frames per second are available. So we can do on the Hero 5, we can do 1080 at 120 frames. On the Hero 6, we can do 1080 at 240 frames. That's double the frames on this at 1080. Okay, so let's look at the field of view. Field of view, we have wide, and in this one we have wide and narrow. at 4K, at 1080 at 120 frames, and at 1080 at 240 frames. So let's change the frames back to like a normal frame rate and see if the options change. Okay, now we have, we got more options now. Excuse me. We have super view, wide view, medium view, linear view, and narrow view, all on this Hero 5. And on the Hero 6, we have linear, wide, and super view only. Let's look at both the super views and see what we see here. Let's roll a little bit. Do my snap so we can see. Sync it up. Just for testers, so we can see what we're looking at here. That's a super view. Alright, now wide view. My favorite is just, I like to keep them in linear because that's the flattest, most un-GoPro-ish type of mode. That's what I like to shoot at. Okay, so as you can see, like when I just tap the field of view, right? You tap the field of view and you see that right there. But when you tap this field of view right here, the options are at the bottom. So you do have the new zoom, but you do have to pick your level of zoom, if I should call it level of zoom, before you start recording. So that's one thing you gotta remember. It's not like you could zoom while you're recording. So that could be kind of misleading as they advertise it. Okay, so let's look at the settings over here. Okay, Hero 5. Let's look at the settings first. Okay, you got that. Video stabilization, auto low light, manual audio controls, manual auto controls. Okay, let's go back to the videos things. Okay, so as you can see, they jostled around the menu a little bit. Both of them still have 4 options on it. I think they're all the same. Let's start over here. You see color, and you see color, right? You see white balance, and you see white balance. You see ISO 800. You see ISO 100. See shutter. You see shutter. Exposure value compensation, sharpness, audio, Pro Tune reset, but there is no Pro Tune reset. What they replaced the Pro Tune reset with is a maximum ISO. So you have a minimum and maximum ISO setting in here, which I actually like because you can control the maximum ISO, which means you can control how grainy the footage will look if you're in a low light situation, versus the camera just keep on putting up the ISO and making your footage look grainy. This ISO, you just set it either to auto or, no, that's the white balance setting. Hold on. ISO. Yeah, this ISO, this has a maximum ISO of 6400. This has a max ISO of the same. I would never go above 800 if I want my footage to remain crispity crunchity. So this does not have an auto ISO. You just pick your maximum. Boop, cancel that. Yeah, it doesn't have auto ISO. It just has you just pick one ISO, and I guess it auto ISO, it picks the ISO based on what you have that on. I'm not sure, but those are settings for that. So folks, that's pretty much the difference in the menu on the inside of the Hero 6 versus the Hero 6 versus the Hero 5. Yeah, and already I'm seeing some fringing around the side because I have the exposure compensation up. Let me see something. Cancel. Okay, yeah, it's gone. The fringing is gone. I thought it was fringing over there, but it's not. So yeah, that is basically it. That's the difference between the two cameras in a nutshell. Let's turn the Pro Tune off and see what they look like. Shooting with the Pro Tune off. See the problem with this? Yeah. See how long it took? The interface isn't that good. And I think it went back on too. No, it didn't. But it just seems like it's on. Yeah, but yeah, this is the difference. Once again, a little bit more footage for you guys. And this is both cameras, same settings, 1080p, 60 frames per second, linear view, Pro Tune off, and this is what you get: GoPro Hero 5, GoPro Hero 6, both black editions. So yeah, that's pretty much what you're gonna get. I hope this was helpful, and I hope this helps you make a informed decision on which one you want to purchase, and help you see what the differences is between the two cameras. Coming up next, subscribe, because I'm going to do a GoPro Hero 6 versus the Sony FDR-X3000, the classic Sony FDR-X3000. This camera was really ahead of its time. I made a tutorial before, or review before, saying why the GoPro 5 was still better than Sony FDR-X3000. But I will admit that when I run out and I'm in a situation where I'm just want to grab a camera, I do grab my FDR-X3000 before my Hero 5, just because it's actually more user friendly, easier to use, more reliable, and the battery life is better, and there's a few other reasons too. It's easier to sync up with the phone, and I don't know, but this is a great camera. This on its own is waterproof. That on its own is not. You have to put it in the waterproof housing. So yeah, I'll make another review and tell you my thoughts on the FDR-X3000 and why it's still relevant even with this great GoPro Hero 6 out. Okay, you guys, I hope you like this video. This is Allan Wade, King Allan Alexander, on social media. Follow me, subscribe, like, comment, and share. I hope that you guys found this useful. Peace. I'm out here.